Chat out. What's up, everybody? All right, we should be good to go. You back on, Melody? Maybe not. Is anyone on? Anyone out there? If anyone is on, say something in the chat, please. Sound is very low. What about now? Is it better? Sounds weird. I don't know why it sounds weird now. Sound is the one thing I didn't think I would have issues with, but let's see. Still sounding weird. Test 1 2. 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 I don't know. This is weird. Test 1 2. Test. Test 1 2. Test 1 2. Test 1 2. Yeah, something's not right. Don't know what. Now, man, what did I do? Test, test. Test, test. Test. That's very weird now. I don't know. Is that good now? Volume is a little low. Doesn't make sense. I don't know why the volume would be low. What about now? Is this any better? Oh, that's loud. May just be loud for me. Test 1 2. Is that good melody? Like, is that like normal now? Like normal on TikTok usually? Test 1 2. See, nothing. Hold on. Test 1 2. Test 1 2. There we go. What's up, Katie? I don't know if we're still having audio issues or not. I don't know if this will work, but we're going to try. It's possible I have figured out how to go live on TikTok as well. What's up, everybody? Well, give me just a minute. What was I going to do? Oh, no. Let me pull this chat out. Well, I don't have to do that. Let me just do this. What's up, everybody? Can everyone on TikTok hear me good and see me good? Yeah, I've been having audio issues. It's something to do with multicasting. I just can't quite figure it out yet. Hey, on Rumble, do I have a echo over there? Or is it just on TikTok I have an echo? No echo on Rumble. Now I have an echo on TikTok. It's like I get one fixed and then the other one's messed up. I don't know. Get very frustrating. Maybe that fixed it. How can y'all hear me on TikTok now? Is it good? Bad? Still an echo? Can y'all hear me at all on TikTok? What's up, Justin? So there is still an echo. Awesome. So no echo on Rumble, no echo on Facebook, nor TikTok. We're good to go. I should have said that. Everything will crash in just a second now. I apologize to everyone. This is my first time multicasting over all the platforms, and it's, my goodness, it can get very complicated. I have not heard any new news on August. I'm hoping maybe we hear something tomorrow. But as of right now, I have not. Yeah, I mean, I've been hoping for one. We were told, I mean, this is about 2 weeks ago, that hold on, something came up there. I was lost my train of thought. Give me a second. Oh, we were told about 2 weeks ago that it would take them, Madison County DA's office, about 2 weeks to get us something. And like I said, it's been about 2 weeks, so hopefully we get something soon. No, I mean, I don't think they could let it go. Honestly, I mean, I don't see how they could. But crazier things have happened. That's for sure. I'm glad TikTok's still pulling through here. It's got nothing on Facebook, which is pretty surprising. Justin, you say that every day. They're coming, I promise. You tell me how I might work with. You're talking about ICAC, the Internet Crimes Against Children. I wish I had a better answer for you, but no, I don't. I don't know that there is. Don't take my word for this though. I don't know that there is a way to volunteer with them, but again, don't take my word for that. I may be wrong. But there are a lot of NGOs, uh, non-government non-government organizations that do that, do that kind of stuff, that take volunteers. I'm not familiar with any of them. I've never done any of those things. But yeah, I imagine if you look hard enough, you probably find something. It's never been anything. Yeah, Jared has some. Yeah, Jared has one. Um, he has some kind of nonprofit that does that kind of stuff, but I don't know exactly, like I said, what kind of volunteers they take or anything. But yeah, I wish I had a better answer for you. What's up, Danielle? Danielle, are you driving? Well, that's because Jared is he's on a federal task force as well, so they're separate things. You are driving? Okay, never mind. I figured you were. No, Daniel. No, 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 no. Yeah, he has the nonprofit, but he's also part of a federal task force. But those are like separate things. Yeah, Melody and Katie. I don't know. I don't know because I can pull it up on mine, but with both of y'all and with no one else on there, that makes sense. I don't know why it's showing like on my app because it is. That's Facebook. So I don't I don't know. It's very strange. Unless maybe, watch. I probably have it set to private or something. I bet that's what it's gonna be. Explain why no one's on there. Let me. Queen Shitfire is here.
Well, Shitfire. Well, Shitfire.
What's up, Deb? Can I get an excuse note for my job? Yeah, I still don't believe you really actually work. Is that the same thing your boss says? Do you hear that a lot, Katie? It's a problem if you do. Hmm. What's up, Kristen? How are you? See, this was all just a big setup. I was going to see how many of my followers are really loyal, and I see that I have two, Melody and New Katie. Yeah, because I told all of y'all last night. I said tonight. I said tomorrow, which would be today. I will only be live from now on Rumble, YouTube, and Facebook. And none of y'all got on any of those, so I had to get back on TikTok. Luckily, I figured out how to do it on all of them. But apparently, we're having some technical difficulties on Facebook. It's only showing on my Facebook and no one else's. But I checked the setting and it's not set to private, so I don't know why. So I'll have to get that figured out at a later time. Well, it's yet to be determined yet, Deb. I don't know. I'll have to decide if you are in trouble or not. I guess I'll have to give y'all a pass since apparently it's not on the book. We'll get it figured out. This is this has gone so much smoother than I thought it would, honestly, for the first time. Now, I mean, we had a lot of issues in the beginning, but the fact that we're just up and running now is I'm impressed by that because with the way things usually go, I wasn't expecting it. Must have been a creeper. Just send me to bed and I'll be good. It's not bedtime yet. It's only 5:30. You got to stay up for at least like 2 more hours. If you go to bed before 7:30, you are automatically classified as at least 85 years old. And that's no offense to anyone that is that age on here, if there is. Well, yeah, Chris, I understood what you were saying, but I was still making my point. Now you've got Melody on that we should bring back mandatory nap time. Do I need to do a podcast on mandatory nap time for adults? Hey, y'all make sure I'll publish it as soon as I get off live tonight. Which make sure to check out my video that I put out. I put out a short one on social media, like bullying stuff earlier, but I've got a like a 30-minute one that I had just finished up that I'll publish to everything. Or well, it'll be on the long one will be on. I guess I can publish it to everything. It'll definitely be on Rumble and YouTube and Spotify. I don't know if I'll put it on Facebook and TikTok, but y'all make sure y'all check it out. It's really good, I think. Yeah, on Spotify, I'm Agent D Baker. So yeah, make sure y'all find me on there and make sure y'all follow me on there because my long form podcast, that and Rumble are going to be the only two places those are. Yeah, Danielle, it's not working for some reason. It's the only one that's not, but I'll get it figured out tomorrow. We'll go with what we got tonight. But yeah, y'all make sure y'all follow me on Rumble and Spotify. And preferably YouTube as well. But those are at some point, those are going to be my main platforms that I'm on. Well, Kristen, I had some plan for my sub only space on TikTok, but then TikTok changed their paid subscription thing all up and it messed everything up. So I'm figuring out a different way, but I will get that figured out soon. Now my research team is going to get a lot of extra cool training for sure. Well, it's weird because in one way kids are like in one way I compare kids to people. I don't even need to say that. Somebody will take that out of context. So there's certain people that a lot of that and a lot of the analyzing does not work on, such as someone with some serious mental issues, right? And like if you don't have a normal conscience about yourself, a lot of the things doesn't work. That's only a very small part of society. But children, depending on their age and maturity, can be the same, can fall in the same area because, but on the other side, children are just pretty easy for anybody to read, if that makes sense. because children haven't. So because most children hasn't learned how to lie yet. See, we learn how to lie, and from the most of the research that I've seen on that, and again, this completely depends. You can't go off age because a 10-year-old could have the same maturity level as a 13-year-old. It just depends. But anywhere from like 12 years old to 16 is when most really start to learn to lie. And what I mean by that is, when I mean learn to lie, I mean that they realize they can lie. And I know that sounds weird because you're like, no, my 2-year-old lies all the time. Yes, but that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about at some point in a child's life, they realize, hey, I didn't really go to school yesterday, but I could tell everybody I did, and everybody that wasn't at school is not going to know the difference. That's what I'm talking about. So, like, a 4-year-old doesn't have that capability to think through that. So they don't realize they can lie about that. I hope that makes sense. Oh, forensics interviews on yeah, and I have no training in that, nor will I ever. That is not anything I've ever wanted to deal with. So I am not an expert in any way whatsoever on forensic interviews on children at all. I don't interview children like that. I stick to adults. So that is not in my expertise. So anything I say about children is just like my own experience that I've like figured out through my kids. As far as like, I know, as far as the detecting deception side of it. Yeah, children, and that's what I'm saying. Children are it's a whole different thing than adults. So you can't treat children the same way you can adults as far as detecting deception. Just like you can't treat someone with a serious mental condition with someone that doesn't. But yeah, children lie, but there is a difference in them just telling a lie and then when they actually learn how to lie. And every time I say that, people, I see, like, if I'm in class, if I'm teaching a class, I see a lot of like blank faces, like, what the hell does he mean? So some of you will understand that, and some won't. And I don't really know a better way of explaining that because, again, it's not something I teach. I just don't. I don't teach anything to do with children. That's a good way to put it, Kristen. Lying versus manipulation. Because, and that just depends on intelligence. Like if your 6-year-old is manipulating you, that means they are extremely intelligent. More than likely so intelligent, they're probably on the spectrum. So it doesn't necessarily mean it's a bad thing. But you have to watch them closer. You have to watch them closer because when they're in, that literally means their IQ is very high, and so they see the world completely different than somebody like me with a normal IQ. And quickly, so human nature, it goes against human nature for once we, and again, I'm not talking about children. I'm simply talking about mature adults. Human nature, it goes against us actually telling a lie out of our mouth with our words. It's very hard to do. And such as if you stole a car, and I was sitting across from you, and I said, "Did you steal that car?" If you really did, it's going to be really, really hard. Again, unless you have some serious mental issues, it's going to be extremely hard for you to just say no, because our brains do not want us to say that, because it's like, no, you can't say that. That's not true. And so we immediately start fighting with ourselves. That's why body language is so important, because you can tell when somebody's fighting with themselves. And all this is done in seconds. I mean, not even a second. So it's very, you have to pick up on the stuff very quickly, and it's minute details. But your brain is telling your mouth one thing, but then the other side of your brain is telling your mouth to say another thing. And so, like, again, it's a fight. And if you will notice, so that's why most people, it is very rare for somebody to actually literally just lie with their words. It's very rare, because it's very hard to do. And you can do it yourself. Like, you can literally practice with yourself. You can go and pick up a pencil off the table and then walk across the room and say, and talk out loud. I know this sounds silly, but it works. And talk out loud and say, "Did I just pick up that pencil?" And try to make yourself say no, and see how long it takes you. It's not just going to roll off your tongue. It's completely different. So, and when you add on, if you were really facing trouble or facing really tough questions, add that stress on top of that stress, well, body language is very hard to deceive. Your body language tells a lot more than your words, because, again, your brain's fighting with each other. So anyway, it's very rare for people to actually just say no. Very rare. What they do is they just don't answer the question. And you'll see this with your kids a lot. When you ask someone a question, like if I ask you if you stole that car and you really did, then more than likely you're not going to just be able to say no. So if you do, it's going to take you a while. It's going to be very obvious. So what they do is, instead of saying no, they say, "Why would I steal that car? I have my own car." And to people that's not trained at all, they look at that and say, "Okay, he said he didn't steal the car," and they'll go with that. No, he didn't. He didn't answer the question. So that's most people. They just literally never answer the question. If they're not being honest, they're just not going to answer the question, and that shows deception. Because why are you not answering the question? It's an easy question, yes or no question. But you feel like you have to explain everything. So if it's a yes or no question that you ask someone, something very simple, but they go through 2 paragraphs, that's a red flag. Because, again, in their mind, they know they're lying, so they feel like they have to back up what they're saying with all kinds of evidence. Does that make sense? Versus, if you didn't do it and you knew you didn't, and somebody, "Did you steal a car?" "No, I didn't steal a car." 99% of the time, that's how an honest person is going to answer that question. Because, again, it's very hard for our words to just lie. It's very hard. And most people, I mean, there's some people that literally can't. So they just literally will never answer the question. And like I said, you can start seeing that in children too. They just won't, because, again, human nature tells us not to lie. So a kid is going to, they don't want to lie, so they just don't answer the question. But that's a very simplified way of detecting deception. Now, there's way more to it, and you can't just go off of that. We do what we call the rule of 3. You need 3 what I would call red flags for me to really say, yeah, they're not being honest. And then that's why body language again is so important, because you're going to listen to the words. You have taken into account words, the word usage, the words they're actually using, their tone, inflection is very important, and then their body language. And so if you see deception on all of those things on the same question, then you know. I mean, I can tell you 100% they're not being honest. And so then you dig deeper and find out why they're not being honest. Well, they won't look at you as that can be manipulated pretty easily. That's not really something that we go off of. We don't. That's not really a I guess a clue you would say. Now, if someone looks at you and they're looking into your eyes the whole time, they're being deceptive. Why? Because they've heard their whole life, well, if I'm lying, I won't look at them. So since I'm lying, I'll look right at them and they'll think I'm not lying. And I've seen, like, it'll make you laugh. Anyone in law enforcement can probably attest to this. Like, you'll be talking to somebody and they're just like looking, and it freaks you out, and it's literally it's comical to see it. You're just like, man, I know you're lying. Like, that's not normal. Like, nobody just does that. Yeah, I mean, if you're highly trained, I mean, if you're highly trained, you can, and you practice. Yeah, if you're highly trained and you practice, you can beat a polygraph. That's why they're not 100%. I mean, they're just not. The main purpose of a polygraph is not. The main purpose of a polygraph is to get you to just freak out and tell the truth. Is to freak you out so much before the polygraph even begins that you just break down. You're like, I can't lie. They're gonna know, and they'll tell you. That is the main point of a polygraph. That is a full confession versus, well, that's why if it's extremely rare for somebody to say they failed a polygraph, they'll say it's undetermined because they can't say you failed. They just they just didn't get you to admit it. They think you're not being honest, but they just never could get you to admit it. So what's up, Cody? Yeah, I mean, it's very interesting stuff. That's why, I mean, when I first got into narcotics is when and started interviewing people, I didn't know what I was doing, and that's when I was like, I gotta learn this stuff. I gotta figure this out, and I started studying it non-stop. Started going to every school I could, read every book. I mean, and the more I learned, the more interested I got. But most police officers have no clue what they're doing in an interrogation. They have no idea. Cody, you know that's true. We have a major training problem. That's what I say about law enforcement. We don't have a corruption problem. Corruption in law enforcement is so rare. I'm telling you, it's extremely rare. Extremely rare. But we do have a lot of officers that just don't know what they're doing. It's starting to get a little better with all the online training. and that's helping a lot. And thankfully, some of the good law enforcement uh, training schools, if you will, have started doing online stuff more, and it's easier access to a bunch of law enforcement officers that could normally can't take time off to go to the classes, or their agency won't pay for the classes, so and they don't have $5,000 to pay out of their pocket to go to a week class in 4 states over, or something like that. But with the online stuff, it's getting better, and I think it's going to continue to. But I saw it the worst when I went to North Alabama and started working. My goodness, I until then I really did not. I had no idea how bad it was with the just the uneducation of law enforcement. But up there, wow, there's a lot that literally have no idea what they're doing. Stacy, you want me to pull out the stats? Because I can. No, I promise you, we do not have a corruption issue in law enforcement. It is very rare to find corruption. Now, if you live in Walker County and that's who you've dealt with, I completely understand that's your way of that you feel that way, because that makes sense. Because there, unfortunately, yeah, there's blatant corruption, but that is, and it's extremely rare for like pretty much an entire agency. But there, it's there. It's crazy. It really is. Yeah, unfortunately, April, that is true. I don't doubt that, Jeremy. Uh, there's not many, but yeah, I mean, I would never say every single law enforcement officer in Walker County is corrupt, because that's just not true. But after everything I know now, I can say very few of them are not. Yeah, Madison's a pretty good area. Um, most, I mean, definitely most of the agencies up there are they're pretty good. Well, and Limestone County is good now too, but and that's a prime example for literally 30 years, the sheriff in Limestone County was so corrupt is ridiculous. And he went on for 30 years. Actually, I think it may have been more than that, longer than that. It was at least 30 years. But Limestone County has a really good sheriff now. He's a good guy. Madison County Sheriff, I don't know him personally, but I know a lot of people that know him, and I've never heard anything bad about him. I think I know he's extremely intelligent, and he was a narc for a long time, and he knows what he's doing. But I've got some close friends that are close friends with him, and you can put court off as there's no limit. Unfortunately, there should be, but I've seen some cases get put off 10 times at least. But in my opinion, and I'm not a judge, I'm not an attorney, and most of them disagree with me saying this. My opinion, judges are too lenient on putting cases off, on letting cases get continued. Slot the scammer? What is that? How did he do that? What was, or he, she, whatever? How did they do that? The judges in Limestone County doesn't do family law because it's against his religion. What? What's his religion? That's strange. Ah, so what was she saying the raffles were for? Like some kind of charity? Yeah, Katie, just come over to TikTok. I feel bad for you being over there by yourself. What kind of charity was she saying it was? Do you know? I'll have to look this up. This sounds interesting. Slot scammer. Oh wow. So like she was saying it was for like DV victims and stuff. Mm, that's sick. I hope they send her to prison for a very, very long time. Amy Downs. Yeah, I'm gonna look that. I'm gonna look into that. I hope you're doing better, Deanna. By the way, are you walking yet? Oh yeah, John. There's a lot. You got to be very. You need to be very selective of who you actually donate money to. Like check them out. Don't just because 1,000 other people are, giving them money. Don't just think, well, it's got to be legit because a lot of times it's not. There's one guy on TikTok that I don't. You can't convince me that he's not a scam. And you see, he's live all the time, and like when he's live, he has like stacks of $100 bills he's going through. And I'm sure some of y'all see he literally has like 1 million followers, and he I guess he claims he just gives money to people that need it. But I've never when I looked into I can't verify that. But he has over 1 million followers that are on his lives giving money all the time. Like there's no telling how much money he makes off of 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 TikTok. But he claims he is some wealthy person, but you can tell his and this does not mean he's not wealthy, but you can tell his house is very, very normal. So when you're acting like you're worth multi millions, but your house is very plain and normal, that's a red flag. Again, it doesn't mean that it's 100%, but it is definitely a red flag. But apparently, he says he's an actor as well. But it's sketchy. I don't trust that guy at all. Don't give that guy money. I can't think of his name. Does anybody on here know? Like I said, he's pretty big on here on TikTok. He has a he's always live. Speedy or fast or something like that. What's his name? Yeah, I can't think of his name off the top of my head. But I see him on TikTok live all the time. But then he's just always holding a bunch of $100 bills and yeah. But if you buy followers in TikTok, I mean, I think they're pretty good at picking up on that. They'll shut you down, right? I mean, I think they're pretty strict on that. Yeah, Jimmy Mooney, that's him. anybody know if he's actually a legit or not? Because I can't find anything that. Yeah, that's that. Yeah, that's what I figured. But now his lives always they're full of people. Like he has 400 or 500 people on his lives all the time. But again, I from the very first time I saw him, I was like, "Who is this guy?" Like it's just one of those that you just see immediately, and red flags start going off. Yeah, like I said, until somebody shows me great evidence, I don't trust that guy. I think he's a straight scam. Because that's the thing, he doesn't do anything. Like if you're entertaining, no matter what it is, then that's cool. That's your thing. But when you're literally just on lives begging for money, like begging people to subscribe to enter, and that enters them into he then is going to give $10,000 that day to somebody that subscribes to him that day or some BS like that. Nah, I don't trust that. Oh, is he? Yeah, like I said, I mean he's all. I see him all the time. Yeah, any of the lives I've ever seen, there's nothing entertaining about it. Like he's not giving out information. I mean, nothing. He's just sitting there saying, "Hey, subscribe to my channel," and I'm giving out, like I said, I don't know, $5, 10, $15,000 or whatever today. And then he'll have somebody like, then you'll see somebody in the comments say, "Oh, I know he's legit. He sent me $5,000 yesterday." Like, it's not true, man. Like, it's not true. Like, it's comical. It's so fake. Like I said, but obviously a lot of people fall for it, unfortunately. And again, I don't know that that's actually can be considered. I mean, it is scamming, but I don't know if it's actually per TikTok's rules or whatever. If it's if it violates their rules. I mean, I think it should for sure, but I don't know. But he gives me the same vibe as you see. If you ever see someone on a commercial or anything, or on social media, and they're standing by their Lamborghini in front of their mansion and saying, "Hey, if you send me $500, I'll tell you how to turn your $500 into 10 million or whatever." No, the legit people are not flashy like that. They don't have to be. It's like, do not get a lawyer that you see on commercials all the time. Lawyers you see on commercials all the time, usually not the best lawyers. Great lawyers do not. They don't advertise at all. They don't have to. It's the same concept. Or they're sitting in their private jet. Yeah, anybody that's extremely flashy like that, be careful. And I'm not saying every single one of them are fakes, but most are. Yeah, he doesn't get banned, and I get banned on TikTok live for we get cut off for saying that the um, COVID vaccine has killed people. Yeah, that's what we got banned the other night for. Because one of my followers that she's literally been following me from almost the beginning. She was one of my paid subscribers, and then she reported me over that. Like that, that tore her up. She lost her mind over that. It was crazy. I've never seen anyone take up for that. That I mean, you can ask anybody who's on here. She was so mad that we said that, and all my point was, you can't say that that's not true. Like just because you work in the medical field, you can't say it's not true. There's no way. Nobody could say that. And she's like, yes, I can. And then she reported us, and then they freaking pulled us down for it for distributing misinformation. And I didn't start calling her names or anything. We were literally having a discussion with her because I knew she was one of my followers, longtime followers and stuff. And I try to respect everybody, no matter what, but especially somebody that's been following me from the beginning and one of my paid subscribers and everything. Like I said, but we were literally just having a conversation, and then she lost it and reported us, and the rest is history. I appealed it, and we won. That's why we're back live, but it's crazy. Yeah, she reported us. Well, I blocked her, and it is what it is. But no, it's not a coincidence. Again, I do not believe in coincidence. She was the only one, and not like I said, it wasn't that she was just disagreeing with us. She was acting like we were the dumbest, worst people ever to say something like that. And then next thing I know, I get a violation thing, and then the next thing I know, I'm cut off for what was supposed to be 48 hours. But then I appealed it, and they let me back on the next night. But because again, I legit enjoy talking to people that have that have different beliefs than me, that don't agree with me on things. That's how I learn about them. That's how they learn about me. It's how I learn about that side. That's how they learn about this side. Like I enjoy those conversations. But unfortunately, there's some people they can't have those conversations. If you don't completely agree with them, they literally start calling you names, and conversation's over instead of just talk it out. I mean, never know. You can change my mind. I might could change yours. And if one of us changes the other one's mind, is that a bad thing? No. I mean, more likely we won't change each other's minds, but there's having open conversations is really, I mean, it's a good thing. Jeremy, I do have a podcast. Just started it about 3 weeks ago on it's on Spotify. Well, it's on Spotify and Apple Podcast. It's Agent D Baker. I have only done 3 long form podcasts on there so far. But yeah, Jeremy, that is we're gonna start doing more of that. I've got like 3 more interviews set up right now that I'll be doing on a podcast, and that's what they're gonna be like. Just me sitting across from the other person and us just talking, about whatever their expertise is in, or whatever they're dealing with, whatever. Like I'm gonna be interviewing the maniac mechanic or whatever his name is. Somebody correct me on his name. The one that found the bodies the bones in Birmingham. I think that'll be pretty interesting. I think they shut his TikTok down, by the way. He messaged me the other day. Maniac Mechanic, that's it. And then I have some other, like, I have two that is going to be extremely interesting, but they're not. I want to get very prepared and make sure I've got all the kinks worked out before I get them, set them down in here. So I want to do a couple, at least two or three, uh, in-person interviews with other people first to make sure all the kinks uh, get worked out. Deb, those will probably be a podcast, so I'll probably we'll do a recording and then post it on podcast. So they'll be videoed. Everything I do will be is videoed. So they'll be on YouTube and Rumble as well. But all my long form stuff will be on YouTube, Rumble, and the podcast platforms, Spotify and Apple. Yeah, we're getting there. It's just it's a slow process to. I mean, it's a big learning curve. All of this, like I said, tonight's my first time to multicast, and right now I'm live on TikTok, YouTube, and Rumble. It's supposed to be on Facebook too, but it's not working tonight. But I'll get that figured out. But it's a big learning curve, but we're getting there. I mean, I posted my first video. Let's see when. July 28th. I posted my first video July 28th. So we're 1 month, two. Yeah, so we're barely over 2 months in. So we're getting there. Yeah, I saw that by my dad. Christian, you're not late. You were on Rumble. You just moved over here. Or no, you were on YouTube. I'm sorry. Why is the August case going silent? Well, we're expecting to hear something from Madison County. Like I was saying earlier, hopefully tomorrow. I mean, I definitely wouldn't bet on that. But it's been about 2 weeks ago when they said it would take about 2 weeks. So, but again, it may end up taking a month. But I'm ready to hear something. Oh, you used to work at Priceville? Oh, Madison County. I got you. Yeah, like I said, I mean, I hope we hear something tomorrow, but I mean, I wouldn't put too much on that. But yeah, y'all make sure to check out my video. Like I said, I'll be, um, actually, I don't know if I'll put it out tonight. It may be in the morning, but so it's about 30 minutes on the social media with and children, teenagers, and that just all got brought up. You know, we've been seeing so much of the. So there's a woman that posted on, I think, the Facebook, had a long post about her daughter that, and I don't even know where she lives, but I had tons of people send me the post, and it's really sad. And I mean, it pissed me off so bad. But this poor girl, this teenager, had a car accident, and then like the next day or that night, some kids had added her into, and I'm not familiar with this. I think it's T app. Never heard of it before, so I don't know anything about it. But I guess they had added her in there and was saying some horrible things about her, and saying that she should have not made it through her car accident. Like in other words, they wish she had not have lived through it, and all this stuff, and just horrible bullying and down out harassment. But so that came out, and that pissed me off. And then, and this one, hey, thanks, Jeremy, I appreciate it. And I'm probably gonna do a story on it tomorrow. But this one really has me very pissed off, and it has to do with a kid from a girl that goes to Northside High School in Tuscaloosa County, in North Tuscaloosa County, and she got, oh my God, it's horrible. She got beat by, she's 17 years old, and a 17-year-old boy in school, during school, beat her. I mean, injured her bad. Black eyes, broken jaw, broken nose. I mean, it's horrible. Horrible. And that, that 17-year-old boy needs, he needs to spend some time in jail. I know he won't, because he's 17, and they'll probably let him get youthful. They probably won't put him over to adults. But he in that case, he needs to do 6 months in juvenile detention, and in my opinion, not graduate from high school. It's that bad. And you will rarely ever hear me say that I don't think they should let a kid graduate from high school that close, but I don't care. It's bad. Like, her injuries are, like, the pictures got sent to me, and it's horrible. And knowing that a boy did that to a girl is unacceptable. It's unacceptable. But I mean, she got hurt very bad. Like, she's had surgeries, or she's going to have surgeries. I mean, she's very badly injured. And so anyway, with all that going on, I figured I would do something on the bullying and stuff like that, but just social media in general. And I say all this in the video, but if you have a teenager that's in high school, especially middle school, and they have social media, you need to change that immediately. And I don't want to hear, there's no excuse. I don't care. So don't even come out with me. Well, all of his friends are on social. I don't care. I'm telling you. Nothing good will come out of it. You do not need to be on social media at all as a teenager. At all. No way around it. Not Facebook, not TikTok, Instagram, nothing. And especially, like, if you have a 15-year-old on Snapchat, this may hurt somebody's feelings, but you're not parenting right now. I'll tell you that. You need to change that immediately. immediately. And that was my whole spiel on when everybody started losing their minds when Alabama passed the law this year about cell phones in school. And all these parents are like, my kids are going to have their phones and stuff. Your kids are going to get injured and hurt way more by that phone than they ever will by a school person coming into school and with a weapon. Hands down. Because the chances of that happening are slim to none. The chances of them either getting in serious trouble or something really bad happening to them over that freaking phone is very, very high. It's going to happen. But no, my kids will not have any social media until they're out of high school. They get out of high school, all right, good to go. Till then, no, none. And you will not. There is not a good reason to have it. I'm telling you. Look what it did. Look what happened with Gordo High School with the kids being on, with like the cheerleaders being on social media. Look what all that caused. Nothing good will come out of kids being on social media. Nothing. Get them off of social media. That's your responsibility as parents. 100% your responsibility. Get your kids off social media. The amount of inappropriate pictures, and I say inappropriate just because that's all I can say on here, that are sent through phones and through those apps by these young kids would blow your mind. Ask anyone in law enforcement, especially anyone that investigates those things. There's not a school in this country that doesn't have to deal with that. You've got 14-year-olds and 16-year-olds sending those pictures back and forth to each other. And guess what? The law doesn't care how old you are if you send or receive those pictures. It's the same charge. Doesn't matter if you're 45 or if you're 15. The same exact charge. Very serious. And it happens every day in schools. Every day. So yeah, you can, my kids better have their phone in school. Okay. That's fine. It's not going to do them any good. It's only going to hurt them, I promise you. Now, again, I'm not against kids having phones, like being able to text and call their parents and stuff like that. I'm not against that. I completely understand that. What I'm saying is social media. None. Zero. None at all. Get them off social media. And monitor who they are texting and calling. Monitor it. Have a way of monitoring it every single time. Your teenager does not deserve any privacy. Let me say that again. Your teenager does not need any privacy, nor do they deserve it. Privacy will only get them in trouble. Every single time I've dealt with parents that their child has been through something like that, and I go through this spiel of, you never checked your child's phone? You didn't know who they were texting? Well, no, I mean, I respected their privacy, and look where that got you. And then they say, I wish I'd have thought about it. I wish I'd have known before. Because some really, really bad things happen. Search their bedroom. I don't care how good you think your kid is, because there are some really great kids. I'm not saying there's not. You still have to keep them in check. They're children. They're easily manipulated, no matter how old they are. They're children. Search their bedrooms, search their cars, search their phones, search their computers all the time. Let it be known. That's just the way it is. Now, again, I'm not saying they should have zero privacy 24/7. Like, I'm not saying put a camera in their bedroom or something. That's not what I'm saying. What I mean is search their stuff. Monitor their phone. You should monitor their phone 24/7. Get an app that every text they send, you get. Every text that's sent to them, you get. Everyone they call, you know who they're calling. I do not care if they're a senior in high school. I am telling you, please listen to me. 10 years from now, your child will thank you. I promise you. But by far, the most important is social media. No teenager at all, under no circumstance, should be on any social media. I mean, I didn't even realize that many were on still. Like, I thought it was more common sense now until I started doing this. Like, I thought it was more common sense now that parents knew, no, my 17-year-old is not going to be on social media. No, it's not, because the amount of messages when I did some videos just like last week about some of the high school stuff, I started getting messages from freaking 15 and 16-year-olds on TikTok. Like, this girl who ended up being like 15 sent me, it's like, could you please do my story? This guy's been doing this or whatever. And I responded back. I said, how old are you? Because I knew she looked kind of, I said, how old are you? And she said 15. I said, no, I'm not discussing anything with you. Have your mother message me. I'll talk to her about it, but I'm not talking to you about anything whatsoever. We're not having a conversation at all. Like, it blew my mind. I was like, oh my God. I said, does your parents know about this? Well, yeah. I said, well, have your mother, or I think she said her mother. But anyway, I said, she can message me. I'll talk to her any day. Your dad anyway, whatever. But no, I'm not discussing. No, you and I we will have no more discussions at all. Don't message me back. Like, it's crazy. Yeah, but parents have got to open their eyes. Have to. I mean, I've written search warrants on teenagers, and that's the first time mom and dad realize their kid is selling drugs when we kick in their door. Like, what are y'all doing? And then we go to their bedroom. We take them back to their bedroom and say, have you not looked in your child's closet? I mean, no. I mean, that's their room. That's their private space. No, they don't get a private space. They do not get a private space. Oh, y'all got me on that soapbox. Exactly, Katie. And then I've heard well, he pays his own cell phone bill. So, I mean, I can't look at his cell phone. Yes, you can. He is under 18 and he lives at your house. Yes, you can. I don't care who pays the bill. That makes no difference. That's exactly right, Caroline. That's exactly right. It's very unfortunate, very sad. I mean, you see, what's the first thing you think about when you see? So the the guy that tried to take out Trump, the teenage guy. We've seen it with the school incidents with some of these teenagers, where they acquired tons of weapons that they had in their rooms, and their parents had no idea. Whose fault is that? It's the parents. If you're not keeping up with your children, if you are giving them privacy, it's your fault. If something happens, it's 100% your fault. A 15-year-old does not think clearly. Their brains are not developed. They still have a lot of learning and developing to do. It is your responsibility to keep them in check. And I mean, you can still be their friend, but you're going to keep them in check, search their stuff. Because on the other side of that, your child absolutely needs to know that they can be open with you about anything. They don't need to be afraid to be open with you about anything. Your child needs to feel extremely comfortable talking to you about anything. Don't shut that down either. That's very important as well. That's just as important. They need to know, hey, I don't care what it is, you can come to me. We'll figure it out. Don't hide it from me, though. That's very important as well. But all those things can happen for sure. Because I mean, I'm telling you, you're that's a whole other thing. Your teenager needs to know they can be open with you no matter what it is, because you have to understand they're going to make mistakes, and sometimes they're going to make some pretty big ones. Part of growing up, unfortunately. Hopefully, it's not something absolutely terrible, but no matter what it is, they need to know they can come to you and talk to you about it. They need to know that you can be their first phone call, whatever has happened. Don't ever make them feel like they can't talk to you about something. That'll come back and get you. And that goes in line with what we've talked about the last few nights with the Christy, like we kind of went into that when she was telling her story about churches and some parents, they just want you to be silent. You're a nice Southern girl. You don't say that stuff. You don't air your dirty laundry out. And sometimes you need to. Don't teach your kids that. Teach your kids, you can come to me I don't care what has happened. You can come to me. We'll figure it out. But stop pretending your kids are perfect. No kids are perfect. And the longer you think that, the worse off they're probably going to end up. Yeah, and like Christy said, tell them some of the bad things. You tell them some of your mistakes, and tell them why. Hey, don't make this mistake. I made it, and this is what happened. So don't make that mistake. So many kids think their parents, because their parents act like it, that their parents were absolutely perfect the whole time. They have been absolutely perfect their entire life. Trust me, nobody's been perfect their entire life. I dated a preacher's daughter all through high school. Not perfect. She's a great person. Great person. Her parents were amazing. They thought she was a lot better than she was at that time. Now, she wasn't horrible by any means. I'm not saying that. But she wasn't perfect. Trust me. Now she's an absolute amazing adult, and, she's great. But at that time, her parents thought she was perfect. I mean, they did. But she wasn't. Nobody is. Like what I'm saying. We all do things we shouldn't at that age. Some of us a little more than others. But that's why they need to know and understand that they can be open with you. Because I had girlfriends that their parents had no idea anything they did. And then I had a girlfriend that her mom knew everything. Everything. Because she felt comfortable and she knew she could talk to her mom about literally anything. She could talk to her mom about anything. And so her mom knew every single thing that went on in her life. That's the way you want to be. I'm sure you were, Katie. I'm sure you were. Danielle was probably perfect too. Damn, so why you bring me into this? I didn't say anything. Nah, but I mean, I'm being serious though. No kid's perfect. Stop acting like your kid's perfect. They're not. That doesn't mean they're bad. I'm not saying every kid is bad by any means. That's not true either. But they need to be kept in check. My grandparents were too lenient on me because I was raised by my grandparents, so they were older. They didn't really understand things as much as a younger parent would have, and I wish they would have been, a little harder on me instead of me leaving, Friday night and saying I'm going out. Okay, they had no idea where I was going, who I was going. Like, didn't care. Now I never got in I was never getting in any trouble, so they just didn't care. But that doesn't mean I wasn't doing things that I shouldn't have been doing because I was. The nurse is coming in. Are you in the Chrissy? Are you in the hospital? My God, I did not realize that. I'm sorry. Is there anything we can do for you? Seriously, message me if there's anything I can do for you. Yeah, Deanna. I mean, I was too. I mean, I never had a curfew. That's what I'm saying. I never had a curfew or anything, and I never got in trouble. But it doesn't mean I shouldn't have gotten in trouble. It doesn't mean I wasn't doing things that I shouldn't have been doing because I was. I got very lucky a lot of times. I'll say that. Mandy, that is a very good point. Thank you for bringing that up. But yeah, seriously, Christy, if there's anything I can do for you, let me know. Send me a message. We are not getting on a hospital talk again tonight. We're not. That got us in a really bad situation the other night. That's what got that started about something like that. Like, Jesus. Oh, did you? Yeah, it's like, yeah, it was supposed to be for 48 hours, but I peeled it that next morning, and then they let me back on. because it was ridiculous. I mean, it was ridiculous. Again, we were literally having a discussion, and yeah, that girl, that woman is living in a fantasy world. I mean, she literally said, and I'm not going to say exactly what she said, obviously, because I don't want to get back in it, but she said, I know for a fact no one, not one person, has been harmed from that vaccine. Like, you're crazy. Like, nobody could say that. You can't say that. You don't know that. But that's literally what she said. Danny, it was she's been following me. She's been following me from almost the beginning. She's one of my paid subscribers. I mean, she's been a good follower, but apparently that's a sore subject to her, and I have no place for that. If I can't have a discussion with you, I mean, without you completely losing your mind and start calling names and acting like we're the worst human beings ever, just because we're saying something, just because we don't agree with exactly what you're saying. But I had to block her, of course. So no, Kristen, we're not getting back on that tonight. We're not. Well, I've never technically been in healthcare. I mean, I'm a licensed EMT, but other than that, but I know better. So yeah, she said I've been in the medical field for 28 years. I know. I'm like, I don't care how long you've been in the medical field. What you're saying is not. Nobody could say that. It's impossible for you to say. Old Katie must be off. She must not be on here anymore. She's usually the savior that comes in and is like, all right, let's change the subject. I don't know if she. I don't know. I don't even remember if she said exactly what she did in the healthcare field. Which that's another thing that makes me throws up red flags when you say that like that. Like instead of saying what you are, what you do, say I'm in the healthcare field. Like, like if you say I'm a doctor, I'm a nurse, whatever. But when you just say I'm in the healthcare care field, what does that mean? It can be tons of things. They released the new tour schedule. What are you talking about? All right, it is 7 o'clock. I got to run. Oh, I see, Chrissy. But yeah, I got to go. I appreciate each and every one of you for being on here. Like I said, please try to follow me on those other platforms. Because I have a feeling we'll probably get banned from TikTok again, and I can't depend on that. I can't. It's way too stressful. So And be looking for, like I said, the other story that I'll be publishing. It'll probably be tomorrow since it's so late tonight, but um, on the social media, the kids and children and teenagers on social media and stuff like that. Make sure you share that out and bring bring as much awareness to that as possible. It's very needed right now. If there's anything I can do for any of you, just send me a message. And other than that, I'll should see you all tomorrow. So I hope y'all have an amazing Thursday night.